A very good evening, everybody. I'm starting a fraction early because we have one boat breathing down the entrance to Minerva Reef and I don't want to disturb them by waiting. Bellina, Gulf Harbour Radio. No, I suspect he's very, very busy at the helm. A very good evening, everybody. We are a fraction early this evening. And as you probably just heard, there is one boat, the leader of our bunch, on air anyway. Bellina is just about to enter Minerva Reef, hopefully with enough daylight up there. There's still a reasonable amount of daylight here, but then we are further west, so hopefully he's taking care. We've had another beautiful day today. It's pretty cloudy now, 85% cloud cover, 1022.3 and steady. The wind is it's been very light all day, but it's moved around to the northeast. It's going to be pretty calm for those leaving tomorrow, but frankly, it's actually nicer to have it a bit calm when you're trying to find your sea legs. So hopefully all is ready for the great exodus for the ICA rally. Okay, we won't spend too much time here. We've been watching Sail GP. Goodness, it's on New Zealand television on a Sunday afternoon. There's a lot of sport, so we watch a lot of motorsport because we are petrol heads from America, and then it went straight into Sail GP, and it was rather boisterous as well, with a lot of incidents. They showed the capsizing of the USA boat from yesterday, but I tell you what, even today there was a lot of nudging and damage. It doesn't take too much to damage those boats, unfortunately. They're pretty light. There's pretty aggressive sailing. Okay, well, let's just start and get on with it. We've got some pretty nice sailing conditions. It looks like about 15 knots. As people get further north, I think they will be seeing the higher swells that Bellina talked about last night. I see Scoots has gone ahead a little bit there, and I suspect they're going to be reporting some more swell, but let's see what happens. Scoots, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour. Good evening, David. How copy?
Yeah, lovely copy again. Boy, we're lucky so far this season. Go ahead, please, Daryl, over.
Lovely day out here. Our position 2423 south, 17816 east, a speed of 8 knots, a course of 007 true, southeast breeze of 15 to 20 knots, and 30% the cloud cover. Just a big fix today. Over.
And what is the sea conditions now? What's the swell? Because it looked like it was going to get up a bit. Over.
Yeah, we've got a pretty gentle swell. I would sort of call it between 1 and 2, yeah, very pleasant. We're just riding along. Over.
Yeah, well, hopefully anybody that's going to plan on a passage in the future is listening to it this year, because I tell you what, you would not be put off, would you? It's just beautiful out there. 24 degrees 23 south, 17816 east, 8 knots on a course of 007 true, southeast 15 to 20. The bit of puffy cumulus around, that's dotting the whole passage area between us and Fiji. It's somewhat heavier in Fiji though, and 1 to 2 meters gentle swell. So another really nice day, and hopefully you'll have a nice peaceful night. Over.
Yep, we're just at Main and Genoa, and streets are trucking along and also aboard. Over.
Yep, love it. Sounds good. So excellent news there. All right, let's go down a little bit to the boats behind you, and we will go. Oh God, you don't have to touch this AIS, and it just goes berserk on me. So let's go to Freya, Gulf Harbour.
Hello, Patricia. This is Freya. How copy?
Oh, I've got good copy on you. Nice to talk to you. Go ahead.
Okay, our position is 234 south, 17903 east. Our course is 010 magnetic. We're Cable ground is 4.5. True wind direction, it's really all over the place because we're dealing with a lot of squalls. But at the moment it's 95, and true wind speed is 12. Waves from the east, 1 to 2 meters. Barometer 1013. Over.
Yeah, good copies again from Freya. Thanks, Susan. 2634 South 17903. I'm just going to have to look at you. I think it's east. 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 You did say east. Okay. I should have written that down. 4.5 knots. Nice, peaceful sailing in the squally conditions at the moment. Yes, they're dotted around all over the place there, so it's just a matter of waiting till they pass by. 4.5 knots, currently on a course of 010 magnetic, currently an easterly of about 12, and east swell of 1 to 2 meters, 1013 on the bar. Well, hopefully it'll get a bit more settled for the evening. Over.
Yeah, we haven't really known which way to head. They've kind of been all around us. But right now it looks a little better towards our course, so we're going to go with that for now. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Well, we'll see what Cambria have to say because they are ahead of you, and maybe that will give you some indication of what to expect for the first part of the evening anyway. You can give a heads up. Okay, here's David. You know, it's been so peaceful. He hasn't had much to do. I have to admit to you that he really likes the weather to be quite snotty because then it's exciting as far as he's concerned. This slow, steady southeast trades all the way in for the couple of weeks is almost making him nod off. But there is a little bit of interest with these spotty cumulus all over the place. Here's David.
Well, that's true. To me, well, you've heard me, the people who've listened to me anyway. Climate is boring. Weather is exciting. And unfortunately, you're going to have a mix of both, I suppose. But tonight, it looks like southeasterlies, and there are going to be some squalls about. I'm looking at real-time satellite imagery right now. And there's just they're just moving fairly rapidly from the southeast to the northwest. These bands of cumulus clouds. The main band that's part of the South Pacific Convergence Zone is a little bit further north of Minerva Reef, and it's probably going to stay up that way. So I don't think there will be any worries with regard to that. So anyway, your winds are going to be probably about 15 knots as an average wind. You'll have stronger winds in the squalls, but I would anticipate the possibility of squalls in the evening, which is very typical in the tropics. So that's about the story there. And what's happening, as I've mentioned before, is that we are going to get the formation of a subtropical low that's going to form to the east-southeast of Minerva, not over Minerva, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's going to change the winds a little bit. It's going to change the direction. The wind is probably going to come more from a southerly direction by tomorrow, Monday, noonish, around lunchtime. I think you'll see the winds near Minerva probably changing from southeast to southerly, or maybe southeast. And again, it's because of the bend in the isobars. And by tomorrow night, I'm looking at pretty much southerly winds right there at Minerva. It's really going to be a throw of the dice, because it could either be just plain old easterly winds, or they could be southerly southeast winds, because you're right at the cusp of where the isobars are bending, almost right at the axis of this depression that's trying to form. And in terms of when it forms, it's probably going to be in the neighborhood of I would say Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, there will be a closed isobar, so that will be cyclonic circulation around this, but not very strong winds. And Minerva, the winds are not going to be very strong at all. They very well could be between south and south-southwest Wednesday morning early. And by probably breakfast time on Wednesday at Minerva, you'll see probably southwest winds. Southwest winds, not very strong, but they'll be there, and the possibility of showers as well. So that's the story. As that low forms, again, it's not going to be over Minerva. It's going to be, again, more or less to the southeast of Minerva. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I see. So have a good evening, and again, just be prepared for the possibility of squalls every now and then. If you've got your radar going, you'll be able to see them very clearly on the radar. That's at least what we usually do when we're faced with those type of conditions. All right, that's it for me. The boss is really very anxious to get this microphone. I don't get the microphone very often, you see. Okay, here she is.
Well, the reason I'm anxious is that we have Bellina probably not able to get to the radio because they are nearing landfall. So I'll go to clear with Freya, Susan and Todd. Cambria, Gulf Harbour.
Good evening, Patricia. This is Cambria. How copy?
Oh, nice copy again tonight. Thank you. Go ahead, Rob.
Our position is 2611 south, 17919 east, speed over ground 7 knots, course over ground 25 degrees true, wind. It's interesting, we're getting a bit of a gust right now. It's probably 15220 from the east-southeast. Waves a healthy 2 meters, also from the east-southeast. Cloud cover approximately 80%, and barometric pressure 1013.
Okay, it's interesting, isn't it, that you're not that far from Freya, but you've got a good steady east-southeast. Okay, Cambria, 2611 south and 17919 east, with a course of 025 true, 7 knots with the 15 to 20 knots of east-southeast, 2 meters swell from the east-southeast, so that's already kicked in. It's sort of like a big arc up from New Zealand. It's sort of calmer on both sides, but on the outside of it, where Bellina is, it's quite a healthy swell. 80% cloud cover and 1013. So another good day of steady progress. Over.
Yep, it's been a good day. We've been taking lots of miles.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. Okay, we'll clear with you and see if we can find Bellina, Gulf Harbour.
Yeah, Gulf Harbour, this is Bellina. Good evening. We are just approaching the pass, so I have not much time.
Yeah, I thought you would be. We've been watching you and hoping that you would get there with some reasonable daylight. Go ahead quickly then, Benno, over.
Yeah, it was a nice trip, and but we enter now the pass. So thank you very much for your help, and yeah, talk to you later. This is Bellina clear.
Okay, thanks for that, and hopefully you'll have some decent tides and decent weather to enjoy Minerva, and greetings to Marlene as well. Okay, let's go further south to Renard, Gulf Harbour.
Good evening, Patricia and David. This is Renard. Copy.
Yep, I've got a reasonable copy, a little bit light, but no problem. Go ahead, Simon.
Okay, our good position is 27 degrees 37 south, 179 degrees 00. Our speed over ground is 6 knots. Our heading is 020 through. Wind speed 15
Yeah, I've got good copy on you. So the family on Renard are at 2737 south, 179 even east, doing 6 knots on a course of 020 true, with 15 to 20 southeast, 2 metre southeast swell, 10% cloud cover, and 1014, a little bit closer to the high than the boats further north. And yeah, that sounds nice. I hope it stays that way. You would have heard David's comments. There's these spots of cumulus all over the place, so just have to watch the evening events, but hopefully it will be peaceful, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow, Simon. Over.
Thank you, Patricia. And I would like to ask David if it's possible to know what the weather would be like in Minerva for the rest of the week if we end up staying there.
Okay, yes, he will certainly be talking about Minerva weather for the rest of the week.
I will.
Do you want to do that now or later?
Uh,
We'll do it after I finish the chickens, I think, because I need to find Genesis, because he's dropped off my AIS, and also Luthier. So we'll just do that in a few moments to let people know what's happening in Minerva for the rest of the week. Actually, we'll handle that again tomorrow, because Belina won't be able to copy tonight. They'll be too busy going in through the dusk into the pass. So they've been really going like a train, and what a fast trip they've had. Nothing like a light catamaran, is there? Okay, we'll clear with Renard and go on to Genesis, Gulf Harbour.
Hello, Patricia. Genesis here. How copy?
I've got a very good copy on you. And why is your AIS not functioning? Over.
I'm looking at it and it says it's working, so I'm not sure there.
Okay. Oh well, maybe it's just missed the last pass. So the AIS has been a bit strange today, actually, because some of the boats, like the Cambria and Freya, were about 10 hours old, and yet Camelot, just in front of them, is only 17 minutes, and Luthier is only 2 minutes ago. So yeah, it's been a bit strange. So it must have just missed the pass, and with their new system, they tend to just drop people off if they can't pick it up, which I will complain about. Anyway, go ahead with your position. Over.
Roger. We are at 30 degrees 41 south and 17118 east on a course of 340 true, speed of 6.5 knots, and we have wind of 10 knots out of the east. Seas are approximately 1 meter out of the east, and we're in clear skies, but we have a cloud line right to the west of us. We have 553 miles to go.
Okay, and are you motoring at the moment? Over.
No, negative. We are full sail.
Okay, you're doing a nice speed with that 10 knots then. Okay, we have Genesis at 3041 south, 17118 east on their way to New Caledonia on a course of 340 true, 6.5 knots with an easterly of 10 knots and 1 metre seas, clear skies, how lovely, and cloud bank to the west. I think there is a bit of a trough, isn't there, David? Anyway, he might comment on that.
No,
there isn't. 553 miles to go, so all is ticking along well. When did the wind pick up? Over.
We went through a squall system this morning at about 4 a.m. It picked up, and then for about 4 hours we had off and on strong winds to no wind. And then it kind of was dead after that, and about 1 o'clock it picked up pretty steadily. Over.
Oh, well, that's good that it all happened in sort of daylight. So you've made good use of it this afternoon then. All right, we'll clear with you and check in again tomorrow. It's interesting, nobody seems to have commented on fishing along the way this time. I guess you're all just too busy trying to escape New Zealand's winter and get north. But certainly those boats that are going to Minerva would be well advised to, when you get a bit closer, to put a line out, because honestly we've always got a fish or two going into the pass at Minerva.
Yes,
always.
always.
I tell you what, they jump on a bent spoon. So if you want a nice fish to eat at Minerva, there's your opportunity. Okay, clear with Genesis, and we'll go to Luthier Gulf Harbour.
Give it to me.
Okay, this is Luthier. Good evening, how will you copy?
I've got excellent copy on you, Derival. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My position now is 29 degrees 01 minutes south and 175 degrees 37 minutes east. My course is 045045 We had now about 20 knots wind because we have a squall, but usually it's 15 knots east-southeast, and the sea is about 2.5 meters, 8 seconds. Did you copy?
Good report.
Yes, good report, says David, but you did not give me your speed. What is your boat speed, over?
The sea is about 2.5 meters, 8 seconds.
Speed, boat speed.
Yep, that's good. Copied that, but I want your boat speed. Your boat speed, over.
Okay, my boat speed now is 6 knots. 6 knots. We have a big squall now, okay?
Yeah, well, that's always the case, isn't it, when you want to be on the radio? All right, Luthier is at 2901 south, 17537 east on a course of 045 true. Trying to get some more easting in, good to see. 6 knots and currently in a squall, but on average 15 knots from the east-southeast and 2.5 meter swell, 8-second period. So sounds good, and you are making progress back on course, so that is good. I presume all is well on board, over.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, that's clear with you. I will pass the microphone now to David to comment a bit on the Minerva weather, and then I will ask Ocean Fever to give a call to see if there's anybody that is not currently on our reporting list, and then we'll go from there. Here's David.
Okay, well, looking at Minerva for the following number of days, first off, we'll talk about the high again. It is still there, still with us, still strong, and it's going to be with us for another week, basically. So looking at Tuesday, say Tuesday around lunchtime at Minerva, the winds look on the average to be south to southeast, probably about 10 knots. Now this is an average because within this very high pressured high, there are a lot of squalls, and that is going to put a little damper on maybe the picnic at lunch. But anyway, Wednesday at about lunchtime, the winds are going to shift. Looks to me like they'll be southwest, probably about 15 knots, and again, it's going to be a mix of sunshine and scattered showers. And then looking at Thursday, I would say southerly winds, probably maybe 16, 17 to 22 knots, and this is out of the south. Looking at Friday at lunchtime, virtually the same thing, the very same thing. Southerly winds, we'll call it southerly quadrant winds because it could be either side of south, and again about 15, 18 knots thereabouts. And we'll take a look at Saturday. We're going a little bit far out for the models now, but again, the high is still there, meaning there is just to the southwest of Tasmania. It's still very strong, probably 1038 to 1039 millibar, and it's ridging toward Minerva almost. The axis of the ridge is just to the south of Minerva. So if you run a line from Tasmania to the northeast and make that line very clearly, that would be the axis of the ridge. Now that wind is going to be on Saturday probably more southeast, I would say. And we could take a look at Sunday, and again, virtually the same thing. The big high is starting to move very slightly to the east. The center of it now is going to be almost over Tasmania, and the ridge hasn't moved. It's still running to the northeast, and it's going to be just to the south of Minerva. And should we do Monday? Well, we can do Monday, and we'll be looking at southeast winds at this point, and probably about 20 knots. Might even be east on Monday. But again, it's looking at models, trying to average them out. Just an idea, so that could be definitely wrong, but that'll give you an idea of what the wind direction and the speeds are going to be for the next week. And in terms of what the weather is going to be like, in terms of sunshine and cloud, again, it's going to be a mix of cumulus and in between nice sunshine, and you could expect at any time showers, particularly at night. So it should be very, very pleasant in Minerva. I don't see anything to worry about from what I could see for the next week, the next full week. You should have a very, very good time. Great snorkeling, great wandering around on the reef at low tide, looking for crayfish, and plenty of fish if you're fishing. Be careful if you're spearfishing. There's a lot of sharks in the pass, and there have been numerous incidents over the last 10 years at Minerva with the interface with some of these sharks that aren't very pleasant at times. But anyway, other than the spearfishing, they're nice to look at. So that's, from what I could see, what we're dealing with weather at Minerva. You all are very lucky on this period of time. I have not seen anything like this in quite a few years. So enjoy. And here's the chief.
Yes, on that spearfishing thing, it is not considered polite to spearfish when there are other folk around in the water. Absolutely not, because that does attract these sharks. So please be courteous. If you're in the water, do take care. And what else was there going? Oh yes, you certainly don't have to worry about sheltering from any northwest or northerly quadrant winds, so it's going to be a very simple job. Okay, is there anybody wanting to join us? Please call now. No? And Ocean Fever, Barney, are you on frequency? No, nothing heard. So we will await the exodus tomorrow, and hope you guys are enjoying where you are, well away from the rush, and we will be back on frequency again tomorrow. Have a very good night. Take care, and this is Gulf Harbour Radio signing clear. Oh, and by the way, if you want to use this frequency to talk to each other, you are more than welcome to it when we finish the broadcast, which we have now. Cheers all.